Have our Horde Silver team playing today. I know it says gold up top. Let me switch this over to Horde Silver. Team playing today, the Franklin Knights. So the Knights from Franklin, Tennessee, are taking on our Horde Silver team. So excited about the matchup today. The Horde Silver is 2-0, so looking to keep our undefeated record intact. We'll work. We got about 10 minutes till the match start time, so I'm going to play a couple commercials. We'll come back with hopefully some player introductions once everybody gets here. Our players are all suited up. They got their new uniforms today, so they're super excited about that. They all look sharp. So we'll be back here shortly after this short video.
Releases new videos every week. Subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss out.
So you want to watch the Overwatch League. You're not alone, but no matter if you're a veteran esports fan or a newcomer, you can agree on one thing. Watching the game isn't always easy. Even if you've played Overwatch before, it's tough to sort out the visual clutter on broadcast and keep track of heroes, teams, or plays at any one time. And that's what we're here to help you with today. This is your Overwatch League Viewer's Guide. To start off, we'll assume you're aware of the fundamentals of Overwatch, the basic gameplay, heroes, and the concepts of cooldowns and abilities. If you're really starting from square one though, check out the video in the description for a quick rundown before we get into things. Ready? Okay, let's talk about the rules of engagement. If you've ever watched football, you know the rules of engagement. The offense and defense set up behind their linemen, and after the snap, players on either side do specific jobs to either advance the ball or stop it. Teams in Overwatch work in a similar way. There's a front line, usually made up of 2 tank heroes with high health and low damage. These are the linemen of Overwatch, who score fewer points, in this case kills, but contribute by starting fights, protecting teammates, and holding key positions on the map. Then there's the back line, where more vulnerable support heroes heal their teammates and provide unique tools, like bonus speed or causing enemies to take more damage. And finally, there are the DPS heroes. Their job is to do the most damage to the enemy team. These are your star wide receivers and running backs, making the flashy, high-impact plays that result from proper team coordination.
One right now, and look at it, he's just taking another angle. Oh my god! Oh, there we go, Saya! Triple kill from him! The huge plays! Just tombing him! Get out, Valiant!
A play or team fight in professional Overwatch sees both teams of 6 grouping up and starting a fight over an objective, whether it's a cart that needs to be pushed to the end of a track or control of a certain area on the map. Usually, one of the tanks will engage onto the other team to start, but a well-placed shot by a DPS can score an early kill and force a fight to break out. Priority targets are typically backline supports or low health damage dealers, but teams will focus down anyone if they're out of position. So we've established how teams organize themselves into roles and how each typical fight will go. But how do I know who's winning the fight and who should I be looking at? Allow me to direct your attention to the heads-up display. We'll take it step by step. Up here are portraits with the players, their hero, along with their health and progress towards their ultimate. The more ultimates a team has ready, the more likely they are to win the fight through sheer firepower and utility. Down below, you see what the player sees, their health, ammo, ultimate progress, and ability cooldowns. And finally, home teams will have their primary colors throughout the screen and across in-game effects, while the away team plays in white. It's nice info, but it's a lot to keep track of in the middle of a chaotic fight. And that's where the most useful bit comes in, the kill feed. This area of the screen will notify you of key happenings throughout the game, no matter whose angle you're viewing from. Mainly, it lets you know when a player has killed another player and who assisted in the kill. But it also tells how that kill happened, whether by a basic attack, ultimate, or just jumping off the map to regroup. It'll also show when a player destroys certain structures or attacks. For example, Junkrat's Riptire is not a player per se, but it's important enough that the kill feed will show if it's been destroyed. The same goes for Diva's mech, Orisa's ultimate, Torb's turret, and Symmetra's teleporter. Lastly, in the specific case of Mercy, the kill feed will also show you if a player has been resurrected. It may sound counterintuitive that looking away from the action provides the most information, but keeping an eye on the kill feed is the best way to know what's happening. That's because the most important factor in who will win a fight is simple man advantage. The more players alive on your team, the more likely you are to win the fight, and the stats back this up. The team with the first kill wins the fight 3 out of 4 times. if you're watching the kill feed, you'll always have a good idea of what direction a fight is going in. Now let's put everything we've learned so far together and see how these techniques can help keep track of a massive, cluttered fight. In this play from the Grand Finals of Season 1, the London Spitfire have one more minute to push the payload against the Philadelphia Fusion. Both teams are composed similarly. Philly is using the standard 2 tank, 2 support, 2 DPS lineup, while London have traded in 1 DPS for a 3rd support hero that's tanky enough to play with the front line. The players get into formation and prepare for a fight to break out, and we see that each team has 3 ultimates. However, London has 2 players with their ults nearly charged. Once the fight breaks out, their most valuable resources will be coming up first, so slight advantage to them. The London frontline tanks start by engaging on the enemy team. While their Winston jumps in from the side, D.Va uses her ultimate to throw a bomb that forces Philly to give up their positioning. This makes Philly's Mercy use her ultimate, granting a burst of mobility and healing to keep the team alive through the onslaught. The Mercy and one of Philly's DPS heroes, their Hanzo, hide from the bomb behind the cart. However, Hanzo isn't hidden well enough, and he gives up the first kill in the fight. With man advantage secured, London is all in on the attack. Philly's Winston tries to keep the fight from moving into the backline, but London's Winston engages onto star DPS player Carpe, taking him out of the fight. Philly is able to resurrect their Hanzo at the same time though, keeping London at only a 6-on-5 advantage. These happen almost simultaneously on opposite ends of the screen, but luckily, the kill feed is keeping track. With a major DPS threat down, London targets the Philly backline, trapping them between 2 walls of blue. From here, ultimate attacks start flying from off-screen and the action gets a little tough to follow. All in all, 5 players use their ults in the span of just a few seconds, and you may think that a lot happens in the chaos, but the kill feed tells us the real story. Philly scored only 1 kill, which was quickly erased through a resurrection by London's Mercy. Once the dust clears, the fight is actually back to even, and the teams get back into formation. London DPS Birdring uses his ult to initiate and catches the enemy Mercy out of position. It's a massive kill. The most valuable part of the backline goes down early and makes for a huge London advantage. They press the attack, and London looks like they get 2 kills here, sealing the deal. But remember, killing D.Va counts as 2 events in the kill feed, one for her mech and one for her, so it's not quite as over as it seems. It doesn't get much better though, as London takes down Philly's Zenyatta, the last player on their backline. All seems lost, but Carpe gets a key kill onto London's backline, taking their Zenyatta, and crucially his ultimate, out of the fight. It's now 5-on-3 for London, but Philly respawn close by, and their tank makes the smart play to back up and regroup for a proper team fight. With all 6 players alive and London's Zenyatta still on his way back, Philly have something they haven't had yet: man advantage. Winston engages to stop the cart, and once D.Va catches up, they force London to fight on the objective, letting their teammates stay safe from view. Philly's Winston eventually falls, and we're down to a 5-on-5 fight. But he's bought enough time for a big play. Carpe comes through off-screen with a headshot onto the enemy DPS.
We are back, just getting ready to get set up here. So again, this is the Hanover Horde Silver team, currently coming into this match at 2-0, taking on the Hanover or the Franklin Knights from Franklin, Tennessee. So I'm going to throw it over to Coach Jeff. He's in the dojo right now for some player introductions.
Hey, Coach Josh. Yep, Coach Jeff here. We are with the Silver Horde team. I'm going to be talking to them right now, as a matter of fact. What is your name? There you go. What position do you play? Okay, excellent. All right. What's your name?
Jackson.
Jackson. What's your gamer tag?
Beast Mode 84.
Right, exactly. And what position do you play?
Tank.
Tank, sweet. What is your name, sir?
Ethan.
Ethan, and what's your gamer tag?
Agent Tech.
Yep, that's Agent Tech. And what position do you play?
DPS.
DPS, very cool. You, sir, what is your name? You look familiar.
Barrett.
What's your gamer tag?
Barbo Fraggins.
Okay, very cool. And what position do you play today?
Well, I'm playing healer.
Healer, support, very cool. What is your name, sir?
Declan.
Declan, what's your gamer tag?
is
Very cool. And what position do you play?
healer.
All right, excellent. And sir, last but not least, what is your name?
Cameron. Amazing.
And what position do you play?
GPS.
All right, very cool. And that, sir, is what we have going on here. That is the Horde Silver. Back to you, Coach Josh.
All right, thanks, Coach Jeff. We're just getting set up, setting up with the league commissioner over there in Franklin, Tennessee to get set up. We're going to be playing 3 maps today. We're playing Escort, which means that we need to take a payload, move a payload from one point to the next, and do it in a certain amount of time. And the further we move the payload, the more points we get. We'll both be pushing the payload as well as defending the payload. So if, say, the first map, we defend the payload first, then the next time we get to push it and vice versa. So we need to get this map set up. We're going to be playing Dorado, Havana, and Junkertown. And we're going to start out with the Dorado map. So we'll be right back. Just going to run a short commercial break, and hopefully we'll come right back to gameplay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna rip it. It doesn't matter at all.
Esports is a multi-billion-dollar industry. We're taking that and we're delivering it to elementary and middle school kids.
Yo, you guys are getting pretty wrecked by me. Dad, all right, push up with me.
We're bridging the gap between conventional athletics and competitive gaming. We have kids working on the same technology that the pros are training to improve their skills.
When did you lose? Why did you lose? Like the games that you lost, why did you lose?
Through a partnership with the Positive Coaching Alliance, our coaches go through a double goal certification. They learn not only how to work through the strategies of the different games they're playing, but they also work through how to impact these kids' lives in a positive way. They get to mark and
All right, so it looks like they started us off in Havana. We need to be starting in Dorado, so I just messaged him to get things reset. So I think we're going to get reset here, and then hopefully we'll jump over to gameplay. So let's see how this... All right, so it looks like he's got her set up. Let me let him know we're good, and we can get started. So this is Dorado. This is the first map. Let me kind of fly through the streets here to show you the points on this map. All right, so ultimately this is the path it's going to travel. Here you see the final point of the map. This will be the 3rd point. So they're going to be pushing it along this direction. Once they get to each one of these points, the next door will open. Here you see the 2nd point. And we'll cruise down here, down to the 1st point. And then this is where the teams are going to be pushing from. This is the spawn point. So it looks like the Horde is going to be doing the first push, the first escort, and the Franklin Knights should be coming down here to set up their defenses. Here they come. Looks like the Knights are showing up with a Wrecking Ball. They've got a Reaper. Looks like a Junkrat, a Diva, and a Sigma. Looks like the Horde lineup is a Reinhardt, a Genji, a Diva, a Baptiste, a Reinhardt, and a Ana. So excited to see how the Horde does today. They are coming in undefeated, but the Franklin always feels a really good, strong team. So let's see how they decide to play this. All right, so it looks like the Horde is going to come from the top. They're meeting some fire, but we got a Reinhardt come in, got quickly onto the payload. So let's see if we can start pushing it. All right, so we got some good battles, a good Reinhardt charge here. So we are pushing the payload, moving it forward, engaging the enemy on the move, which is exactly what we want to do. They're doing some good damage with their Sigma, so it looks like their Sigma is a pretty good player. And they have had a couple eliminations, but right now we're trading players. Another good charge by our Reinhardt in there in the fight. We got our Reaper back here doing well. Got a Diva battle. Diva and Reinhardt getting really close to the edge down here. Don't want to make sure he gets booped off. She does like Baby Diva. chasing her, and they do eliminate the baby diva. So sends the Horde back. They did get a decent little push there, so they need to get back together and make a good push against the Knights. The Knights have set up a good defense. So let's see how this team dynamic, another good charge by Reinhardt, kind of misses there. So let's see if the Horde can get together on this one and make a good push. So we do have our Rhine and Reaper out front here against their Reaper. And another good charge by the Reinhardt to push their Wrecking Ball back. But unable to take him out. Still a lot of skirmish type activities happen, but we are on the payload. They did deploy, the Wrecking Ball did deploy the mines, so we got to be cognizant of that and careful of those mines. Those mines do take out our diva. So really good job by their Wrecking Ball putting the minefield right on top of the payload. Now we've got to diligently take out those mines. So that's where that Ana would be really good and helpful in taking out those mines. And looks like we're coming in piece by piecemeal. We definitely have to get together and make a good surge. Their Wrecking Ball is being super aggressive right now and really taking the fight to us, which is kind of keeping us from getting together. We're fighting a little bit of a disjointed battle here. So, but looks like we did a good job coming in here from the right side, trying to flank. We're putting our team together, making a nice push this time. I feel good about this push. Our diva's coming in. We've eliminated all those mines, so those mines really set us back. Excellent job by that Wrecking Ball. Put those mines down. Good charge by the Reinhardt. Let's see if he's able to capitalize on that charge. Unfortunately, not able to capitalize on that charge. You really need to follow up that push with a quick axe swing to really do the damage on and inflict the elimination on the enemy. Looks like we're trying a left flank here. Let's come up here and see what's happening over here. So we are pushing the payload, but we only have 1 minute, 6 seconds. There was a Reaper ultimate back here. Did manage to take out a couple of the Horde members. Let's see how our Horde Reaper is doing here. Looks like a Reaper on Reaper battle. A Reaper on Brigitte battle. So again, the Knights are just doing a really good job defending this push. The Horde has not been able to make very much progress. They need to get on that payload. They need to push that payload instead of fighting the Knights one-on-one. So 33 seconds. Need to make a really good push. They did a good job. A couple eliminations there. See if we can take out this Sigma. That Wrecking Ball has really been tough on us. And again, unleashing the mines right on top of the payload. So it makes it tough on us. If we can push through these mines, it's really good. So make it a good push. 15 seconds left. We still have quite a ways to go. We definitely can't get eliminated. You got to see, we got to get around this fountain to get to the other side. Again, the Wrecking Ball's being really difficult on us. And only 1 second left. It doesn't look like we're going to be able to make the push unless we can get this on the payload without them eliminating us. So we definitely got to get someone close in there. We've got the Genji in there trying to do their best to stay alive, to stay on the payload, to keep this in overtime. We got our Auto on there too, so we're slowly getting our Horde members back. Hopefully they can buy us enough time to get there on the payload and get the final push. And then we get more time on the clock. So the Horde did a good job getting up here. Let's see if we can get a numbers advantage and take out the enemy. Another charge by Reinhardt. The payload is slowly moving. Again, we're in overtime. So if our team gets eliminated, it's over. We're doing a good job. Again, we have a numbers advantage right now. We need to take advantage of it and take them out. But that Wrecking Ball is being super disruptive. So Horde is making a good push. See if we can continue to make the push. Still in overtime. All right, a couple of eliminations by the Knights. So it's definitely getting harder. But that Genji is doing a good job. Diva's sitting in there on the fight. But taken out by that Wrecking Ball, and overtime's going to end. And unfortunately, we do not secure the point. We were able to push the payload 78 meters. So the Horde has to get together here. They had a little bit of a disjointed. We had an initial decent push, but we were pushed back by the Knights and really stuck at that choke point for the majority of the match. So you can see this payload's going to disappear. It's going to leave a little highlighted block here for you to see once the payload moves back to its position. And that's all the farther the Franklin Knights have to push in order to secure the win on this map. So the Horde has to do a really good job setting up their defenses and be really disciplined in their defenses. All right, so you can see that's where the Knights need to get to. If we can prevent them from reaching that point, we will win this map. So we've got to hold them back for the entire length of time. So here you see where the Knights will push from. They will push their payload. We should be seeing the Horde, Silver Horde team, moving down in this direction and setting up their defenses. Looks like we've switched over to a May this time around and a Wrecking Ball. So we're taking a similar approach that the opposing team took against us. So let's see if that works to our benefit. So here you see the Horde on the point. We've got a Moira now, so it looks like we've done quite a few switches with the team. We've got a Moira, a May, and a Wrecking Ball added to the mix previous. So let's see how this works out. Here you see the May immediately put up an ice wall. Gives us some time to figure out, but the Knights come out from the top of the map, at the top of the spawn point, and work down upon the Horde. Again, let's watch this Wrecking Ball. Their Wrecking Balls really is the strength of their team. He was the main reason they were so successful this last time. So now we got a Wrecking Ball and Wrecking Ball. Let's see how that works out. Let's see if we decide to match them up one by one. We got Agent Tech playing May. That's Ethan putting up an ice wall. It was really successful in our last match, so glad he switched over to May. We'll see how this plays out. All right, so they are pushing the payload. Let's see how this defense comes together. We got a Reinhardt up here going in, but again, he's alone. We really need to get the team together. If you go in 1v6, 2v6, you're not going to win. So the Horde looks like they're taking a defensive position up here. They really need to do a good job stopping them here. The Franklin Knights are really pushing hard this fight, and the Horde is just having a tough time answering them. They're really fragmented. They need to get together. They need to fight hard. 2 minutes and 41 seconds. They can stop them. I've seen chokes. I've seen stops at choke points like this, but again, their Wrecking Ball just is really a strong player on their team. You can see every major move they make is based on that Wrecking Ball's movement. So the Horde has to find an answer to that. The Knights secure the first map, and they secure the first points of this match. So let me go ahead and score them for that. So this is the Franklin Knights Reaper. So he's got his ultimate, hasn't deployed it yet, working his way down. Deploys the ultimate, 1 kill, 2 kills. And with the help of his teammates, takes out 4 Hanover Horde members. So good job, congratulations, good game across the board to the Franklin Knights. Let's go ahead and credit them their point there for that map. And we'll move on to the next map here in a couple minutes. Let's go ahead and get set up, and we'll just push you to a quick commercial break, and we'll be back after that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna rep it. It doesn't matter at all.
Esports is a multi-billion-dollar industry. We're taking that and we're delivering it to elementary and middle school kids.
Yo, you guys are getting pretty wrecked by Dad. All right, push up with me. Push up with me.
We're bridging the gap between conventional athletics and competitive gaming. We have kids working on the same technology that the pros are training to improve their skills.
When did you lose? When did you lose? Why did you lose? Like the games that you lost, why did you lose?
Through a partnership with the Positive Coaching Alliance, our coaches go through a double goal certification. They learn not only how to work through the strategies of the different games they're playing, but they also work through how to impact these kids' lives in a positive way. They get to mark and highlight behaviors and attributes that will lead to long-term life skills.
You love being Battle Mercy.
Yes, Battle Mercy.
No, it's not. Why don't you tell us your favorite move that Mercy does?
So what brought me to XP League is the experience of my children. I had always hoped and wanted them to be a part of a youth athletics team. So I realized they all love competitive gaming. So why not marry their passion with what I'm hoping for them to learn and achieve, and put healthy, solid values in place in something that the kids want to do and are excited about doing.
Yes, Boop Siva!
Experience points. Every game awards experience points. And what we built here is an experience. Professional level equipment, the top tier partners in esports. They're also getting the experience of sportsmanship values, of working with mentors and coaches, and of being part of the team. It's all about the experience.
I need you. Nice. Go. Group in now. Push in. We don't have good. Good game.
All right, we are back. Coach Jeff is in there coaching them up, stretching them out. A big part of what we teach here at XP League is resiliency. And as with any kind of sport, adversity is part of the learning process. And it's good to face these competitive teams. We want to play hard teams because it makes us better. It makes this league better. And it's going to make us all better as a team. So we're getting set up. We should be ready to push here in just a second. We're moving to the Havana map. So let me just ping the other coach and see if we're good to go. One added note, we are issuing XP coins each match to one player who kind of exemplifies sportsmanship, good teamwork. So at the end of this match, we're going to present an XP coin to somebody. Excited to see who that is. Excited to see how the boys respond at this map. So here we go. This is Havana. Here we are. So here you see the payload. So we've swapped sides this time. So last time we pushed the payload first. Now we're going to defend the payload first. So let's go ahead and swing back. Let's look at the course that we're going to take here. They're going to have to push the payload around here. As with most escort maps, there's a lot of high ground and low ground that you need to defend and both fight through, whether you're pushing or defending. And then ultimately leads to this final point, which is in this castle. So if they're able to stop the knights from pushing all the way through to this third point, then they will in turn get the time to push the payload, hopefully further than the knights are able to push. So excited to see how the boys respond. Here you see the Horde team coming up and defend, setting up their defenses. Again, we'll work our way back to the payload here. So the team has 30 seconds to assemble their team and for us to set up our defenses. Looks like we've got a Reaper, a Reinhardt, a Diva, a Mercy, and looks like who we got coming. We got a Junkrat coming along. Or I'm sorry, is that a Baptiste? Yep, we got a Baptiste coming here. So let's see how this crew mix sets up. Oh, we got a Bastion. Yep. So we got a Reaper set up over here by the door. We got a Reinhardt. Here they come. Again, we got to keep our eye on that Wrecking Ball. He's super destructive, super tough. They got a good Reaper. Good pin there by the Reinhardt, but unfortunately quickly taken out. If you're cheering for the Horde, we're cheering for the blue team. If you're cheering for the Franklin Knights, they are in red. So lots of the Horde members taken out pretty quickly and sent back to spawn point. So we'll see how we're able to set up our choke point here. We did have our Bastion set up there on that ledge, but they took it out. So the Mercy has done a good job supporting that Bastion, but unfortunately taken out. So here comes the Horde. Coming here, going to try to get in close from this angle. You can kind of see the battles going on there. Another charge by the Reinhardt, but it missed. Looks like they're going to try to go high and get behind the Franklin Knights. Looks like there's some skirmishes going on. So one thing we definitely got to be careful of is not fighting a deathmatch style, but keeping our eye on that. We're trying to beat this. We're trying to keep the payload from moving. All right, so if we're fighting these other battles and the payload continues to move, then we're not doing our job. So we definitely got to be cognizant of that. All right, let's spin around, get a look here. The Reaper's done a good job defending, but is ultimately taken out. Just didn't have the support there. We do have our Bastion set up in this nest up here in a support by fire position, but he's quickly taken out. So it looks like they are going to achieve the first point pretty quickly, 2 minutes and 28 seconds on the clock. But the Baptiste does come in. Let me get a high vantage point here, sorry. So we do have our Bastion ultimate. He's coming in hot. Does take out a couple of the enemy. So the Horde does a good job in rallying. Just keeps them just short of getting the point. All right, but their Wrecking Ball, again, puts the mines around the payload, makes it tough. Our Bastion's here trying to fight one-on-one, but again, the 1v1, 1v2 matches are fine, but once you get 1 versus 6 or 1 versus 5, those numbers are never in their favor. All right, so it looks like the Horde is looks like attacking from the flank position with a couple players, but again, it's not a full frontal attack. The team needs to get together. Try not to panic. It's easy in these situations once you get down the first match to kind of panic. We got a Battle Mercy out here. She needs to get back. There she is. She's supporting this Bastion, which is where she needs to be. Bastion's a critical piece when we're playing a Bastion. Looks like he's healing himself. It looks like the Reinhardt's going to get in. Let's see if he can get a pin. We really need to get a good pin there. It does do a smash and takes out one player. But that Wrecking Ball is a critical piece of what they do. Bastion's down here on the floor, kind of in a vulnerable position. But he's got a Mercy there that's healing him up. Let's see how this battle plays out. He does end up taking out their Brigitte. So good job by the Bastion. So the Horde's making a nice stand here. This is a good opportunity to make a good stand. They do send in a Junkrat Tire, not to much effect. But again, that Wrecking Ball is super disruptive. So we got the Bastion here raining down fire. So the Bastion's done a good job setting up. See if they can get around and get this Wrecking Ball before he's taken out, but he can't. Their Wrecking Ball, again, is pretty strong. Puts out more mines, but looks like he placed them a little bit high and off to the side. So not necessarily a great placement for the mines for the first time. So it looks like the payload is continuing to move, and it seems like there's battles taken away from the payload. Again, that allows them to keep pushing. So the Horde has to get there and get on that payload to stop it from moving. All right, so they got your Bastion set up here. Definitely needs some Mercy support, but the Wrecking Ball gets in behind him and is probably going to make quick work of him, which he does. Mercy doesn't get back there soon enough for the resurrection because she's taken out by the Reaper play of the Franklin Knights. So they're continuing to push. Looks like they're getting really close to that second point. Let's see if the Horde can get in there and make their stand here. 2 minutes and 17 seconds if they're able to stop them, but a Diva Bomb comes in, takes out a couple of the Franklin members. So good job by that Diva Bomb. Good placement. They're trying to be, but it looks like they're going to get to that second point. So the Horde has to fall back here, defend this castle. 3 minutes and 29 seconds. So we got a Reaper ultimate going off. Looks like it's to little effect by the Horde. But they did manage to take out a couple Reapers, a couple eliminations there before he's taken out. But the Knights are pretty relentless. No sooner than they get a couple guys knocked out, they come back from the spawn and give it right back to the Horde. So let's see what we got here. Looks like they're pushing the corner. Diva's doing a good job trying to fight back, but again, it's a 1 versus 4, 1 versus 5 battle. You're never going to win that fight. She tries to escape. Baby Diva there trying to survive, but she's quickly taken out. Again, got a Reinhardt pushing forward here. He needs the rest of his team behind him. Tries a surge, misses on the surge. Franklin ultimate takes out our Reaper. So 2 minutes and 35 seconds. The Horde really needs to get together, start communicating and working as a team. You know, sometimes matches just don't go your way. You know, that's what happens sometimes. Looks like we're switching up some characters here. Got our Bastion set up, but he's out here all alone in the middle. It's not going to last long like that. We got a Reaper coming in. Reinhardt charged. Again, kind of a disjointed attack by the Hanover Horde here. They're putting up a good fight. We're in the clock down, which is important because if we're able to get all 3 points in less time than they did, then we win the map. So they managed to get all 3 points, 2 minutes and 2 seconds remaining on the board. So the Horde is going to get their turn to turn the tables, to push the payload, to try to get all 3 points in less time. So that was a pretty quick push by the Knights. So the Horde really needs to do a good job pushing hard and fast and keep that payload moving. So let's go all the way back to the spawn point. All right, so the boys, coach is in there coaching them up again, trying to encourage them. Definitely want everyone to stay positive. Positive coaching is something we really try to teach. And again, the best teammate, not necessarily the best player, will be awarded an XP coin today. So really critical. The Horde plays as a team, keeps pushing, is talking, is communicating. Is pushing that payload as quick and as fast as they can through the Franklin Knight defenses. Looks like the Franklin Knights have a pretty similar makeup this round. Look like they're adding a Sombra to the mix this time, so that's a little bit different. The Horde is a fairly, looks like we're bringing in a Doomfist to the fight this time. So let's see if that makes a difference. Sometimes team composition, looks like we got a Doomfist and a Hanzo over here that are going to look to come out the right flank. The rest of the team looks like they're going to move out the left flank. And the Knights are setting up right on top of the payload. Let's see how this goes. So our Reinhardt, again, quickly take it out. Our Reinhardt, we need to work on a little bit of Reinhardt play, making those charges, follow up with some good hammer attacks. Trying to come out the right side here with the D.Va. Let's see if we're able to take them out. The Brigitte and the D.Va going on a nice little battle here. Let's follow that. And the D.Va does take her down, so that's a critical piece. So if we can move quickly to the payload, this is our spawn point. So as soon as when we do have players die, they're immediately out here. So they need to get to the payload quickly. So let's see if we can get on the payload. We got a Hanzo taking on the Wrecking Ball over here. Seems like we do have a numbers advantage, so let's get on the payload and let's push quickly. We got Doomfist up here. That Wrecking Ball, again, a critical piece of their attack. If we play these guys again, we definitely have to come up with a good strategy for dealing with that Wrecking Ball, because that is their best player on the team this match, doing super disruptive. So good pin. So good job by that Reinhardt, going in, attacking that Wrecking Ball, taking it out. That was super important. Obviously, if we concentrate our attacks on that Wrecking Ball, I think we're going to have a really a good push this time. So 2 minutes, 43 seconds on the clock, making a good push. Our D.Va gets taken out, unfortunately, before she can regenerate her mech. And we need to reconsolidate and make another good push here. So let's see how this works out. We got a Hanzo there trying to attack from the far. Here comes our Reinhardt. And here comes the rest of the team. See if we can make a good consolidated push against the enemy and eliminate as many as we can. Again, they're coming at us being super disruptive, not letting us really get a good consolidated attack. We just need to push towards that payload. You can see their Wrecking Ball, again, put down the mines, making it difficult on us. We got to be really careful of those mines when we're coming through there. And then our Reinhardt's taken out. So they're going for a spawn pin. This is a good opportunity for us to sneak around and jump on that payload and draw them back from the spawn. So here comes Doomfist. Let's get doing a good job. We got a Moira's ultimate going off in here. A lot going on in these tight quarters. I know it's hard to see. Moira Wrecking Ball battle, but the Wrecking Ball again wins that battle. We are back onto the payload here, so hopefully we can start pushing it. Again, if you're rooting for the Horde, we're in blue. A couple good eliminations there by the Doomfist. So this new makeup is interesting. Seems to be somewhat working as we push forward. All right, we got a Reinhardt out front. He's a little too far forward. Again, it's a 1 versus 4, 1 versus 5. He's not going to last very long. Looks like a Sigma ultimate picked him up in the air and eliminated him. So definitely have to work on staying together in these escort missions. We're, again, fighting a little bit of a disjointed battle. But that's why we play these matches, to learn each and every time, and to go into the next match even better than the last time we fought. So here we got our Doomfist. Continuing to push, trying to push towards that first point. 2 minutes and 2 seconds remaining on the clock. If we get to this point, which we do, the clock will be reset. We'll get another minute on the clock. So we got to push this section of the payload really quickly. So let's get on that payload, Horde. Let's push hard. But we need members on the payload to push. When we fight away from the payload doesn't move. So here comes that Wrecking Ball again with the mines. So something we have to deal with. That Wrecking Ball does a lot of damage. It gets a lot of ultimates, and definitely does a good job making us pay for it a lot of time. But we do take out that Wrecking Ball, critical piece. So the Horde's playing a lot better. You can see the improvement from the last round to this round. You can see we're clearing out those mines and pushing forward. Here's where the main battle's taking place. All right, so the Horde is making a good push right now. They definitely have to push quickly, though, because time is of the essence in these escort missions. All right, so it seems to be the Doomfist is a good matchup against that Wrecking Ball. So let's see if we can get one more good one-on-one matchups with them. So we got our Reinhardt up here sitting on top of the escort tank. That's a good way to keep the payload moving, because when you got a player on top or multiple players on it, it moves quicker. Got our Moira with her ultimate here. Let's see how many she can take out. Doing a good job. Does manage to not necessarily take one out, but assist the team in some takeouts. So the payload has stalled. You can see they got a Sigma on top. You got a Doomfist battle over here, but looks like our Doomfist was taken out. So the Horde has to quickly get back together, get on this payload, and get it moving again. Looks like we got some, again, kind of skirmishes. You can definitely tell the difference when we start playing together and when we start playing a little disjointed. But that's a sign of a good opponent. If they can separate you, make you fight one-on-one battles versus, 6-on-6 battles, it makes a big difference on the escort because you need a lot of bodies to push that and defend that payload. So you can see we got people all over the map in different places fighting different battles at different times. So this is definitely not how we want to fight this battle. We need to fight our way back to the payload and push the payload. Just 52 seconds remaining. All right, looks like we swapped a couple players out. All right, the Hanzo ultimate came through, did take out a couple of the enemy players. That Sigma's being super disruptive. So between their Sigma and their Wrecking Ball, really a formidable team we got here. Let's see Doomfist, see what he does. But again, we need to get on that payload and push. It's going to be a hard push. Hopefully we can do some pushing in overtime. We need to get to that point, slowly inching our way there. Hopefully we can get on the payload and call some overtime. 10 seconds remaining, so we got to get on that payload quickly to initiate overtime. Doesn't look like there's any players around. If that D.Va can get on the payload, calls overtime. Let's get on the payload, boys. All right, we got a Hanzo, we got a D.Va here in the fight, but again, that Wrecking Ball clearing, paving the way. But the Horde is putting up a good fight, really doing their best to take the fight to them. The Doomfist, again, this is seems like a good matchup against that Wrecking Ball, but it doesn't look like we're going to be able to do it. But it's no sooner than I say that, a member of the Horde comes in and keeps it going. So stranger things have happened, but unfortunately not on this map. And the Franklin Knights take the map and take the second point there. So it is going to be a victory. So CNH Horde does get play of the game, so let's go ahead and watch this. Let's watch this ultimate. So he comes in, he eliminates one enemy. Chasing down another, eliminates two. Takes out a third. So good job by the Hanover Horde Reaper there with the takeout. But we will take a loss. Let me get with the other coach, see if he wants to play a scrimmage. Let me give the Knights their point, and then we'll come back, hopefully to a little scrimmage match to get some more practice. Be back in just a minute. All right, we are back. So the Knights do win that match. The Hanover Horde Silver team falls to 2-1. Well-fought match on both sides. We definitely got a lot of lessons learned there. I'm pinging the other coach to see if we're ready to go. Looks like they will not be able to play another scrimmage match. They got to head off and prep for their next match. So really good hard-fought battle today for the boys. Hate to see us lose, but it's all a learning lesson. It's a long season. We're still 2-1. going into the next round. We will be taking a week break for Thanksgiving, so no practice or matches this week. But we'll come back the week after Thanksgiving and with a new game plan and ready to match up with against the next team. So good job to the Hanover Horde. Good game over there to the Franklin Knights. Appreciate you all watching today. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you next time.